Welcome back to the Beliucci Hour Lunch. Well, they are rocking today. That's some heavy stuff. Ron Bronner, Beliucci with you from here on the stage at the Tap on Harvey Road. Don't forget to get your questions in. If you've got in the audience here, fill out one of these note cards, get your questions up to me and Billy. We'll do our best to get to all of them to close the show in the final segment. But, Luch, a little bit of coaching news came out yesterday, and we don't have to spend a ton of time on it because it's not a big regional headline, but I think for folks here in College Station, Jimbo Fisher's decision to keep former offensive line GA now, Lee Grimes, on staff in some kind of role, I think is a good move. And me and you both agree that Lee is a budding star in this coaching deal and worked his tail off for the last year for Jimbo Fisher, both on the recruiting trail and then getting game prep ready for Jim Turner and Daryl Dickey and as far as scouting. So I thought that was a nice addition yesterday.
Retention.
Yeah.
I think, man. I mean, Lee Grimes, like you said, he cares. He's an Aggie. He cares about this thing deeply and works really hard, and I think played a big role in the recruitment of a lot of these offensive linemen. One's A&M got. I think he was a big part of the reason Javon Shepard hung in as long as he did. He'll be a great asset, whether it's in a GA or analyst role, whatever kind of role that is on staff.
Yep.
And I think he'll be a great asset to the new offensive line coach just in terms of keeping continuity.
And knowing the guys,
yeah. And you're going to hire – look, let's not dance around this. You're going to hire a guy that's been actively recruiting the state of Texas as well. So that transition will be fairly seamless from that front. The guy's not going to come in here and not know who – Josh Bankhead, Chad Lindbergh, Jalen Garth, Damian George, Bryce Foster, Hayden Connor, Ruben Fothery from the 20. He's going to know who those 20 and 21 guys are when he walks in. He's going to have recruited them. I mean but Lee Grimes will be really good in helping ease that transition.
Your favorite moment of the recruiting moment of the 2019 cycle, something that happened. Maybe an
Cinco
event.
de Leal.
That's what and to me, that's what it was too, because
just the arrogance of those fools. There's a word I want to use for them you can't use on air, and if we were at Barstool, we could do it more. They're cool cussers over there, but I think it just the arrogance and just the celebration that they got this guy on campus and thought it was a done deal. They were getting him. Just throughout the cycle, the arrogance of Dalen Wright and Damani Richardson.
Dalen's was good, too, because of the bag.
And DeMarvin Leal and how they just were so sure that there was no way those guys were absolutely going to Texas. It was a no-brainer, and A&M just one by one just started dropping them. And then the revolt against Footwork King and Javon Shepard when they thought he was signing with A&M, and then to see them go back. And then we got him, we got the – and to see the shush man standing there with him. And, your fan base crucified the kid and his trainer when you thought while he was still committed to you. So that was fun. But my favorite part, Bronny, to be honest with you, was watching a few days there of A&M camps and being able to see – those guys work out in front of the A&M staff.
The Calzada camp was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. And to see Calzada come in and earn his offer in a matter of minutes.
Me and you were watching him warm up before the coaches were even in there, and we're going, dude, this kid's for real. We didn't know anything about him. He comes in, he starts warming up, throwing the ball on a line 30, 35 yards, and me and Luch are going, holy cow, this is some real arm strength.
I thought that was pretty fun to watch, and I thought just the talent, Bronny, that was assembled there from not just 19, but, and on down, but especially the class of 19, but also 2020 guys. I mean, you're watching Calzada sling it.
Neville came on the radar, 2021 kids.
And Troy O'Meara is Latrell Neville, Troy O'Meara, Dalen Wright. You're looking at 3 classes in a row of guys catching passes from Calzada, and you're like, all right, that guy's a future all-conference, that guy's a future all-SEC, that guy's a future all – and it wasn't just there. It was, to see DeMarvin Leal out there, to see Baylor Cupp, Andre White, all these guys and the way they were competing in those camps, even though they had their offers, they had their spots. Damani Richardson jumping a route for a pick six. I mean, my point I'm getting at is that's when I was sitting there watching all that talent and going, okay, this is next level recruiting. Like, this is whether you're, third behind Georgia and Alabama, this is what it looks like. Okay, what Georgia and Alabama did this year was special. What Alabama did was unprecedented. But Alabama and Georgia built national title, or Bama built national title winning teams with this type of class that A&M signed.
Sure.
And to watch those guys in action up close, and so many of them in a couple-day stretch, is when the realization, I already believed it, but when it really hits home, when you watch them and you go, yeah, this is elite type stuff that we haven't seen here.
We had talked to a lot of people about Baylor Cupp. When we saw him in that camp is when, for me, it hit that this is a kid. This is a ranch hand-looking dude from Brock, Texas, that is built like a Jamaican sprinter. He is. He's 6'6", 240 pounds, and runs like that. And when you see the kid,
saying he's part Dan Campbell, part Usain Bolt?
I guess, yeah.
Because that's what was going through my head when he was talking.
Is that a fair mix? But what I'm saying is like, we walked in there and he's running routes,
actually,
and he's he's wearing tights and like a sprinter's outfit, and you're going, there's not kids coming out of Brock, Texas, built this way. He's
coming
almost
out of anywhere.
Yeah.
By the way,
it's like when I see Myles Garrett, he's back in town and he's at the rec and stuff, and I see pictures of him, and I'm going, how is Myles Garrett the same species of being as Beliucci?
Huh. We both love dinosaurs. Or I did. I still watch Jurassic Park, and
No, but there's been a lot of cool moments for me. I think the one that stands out the most for me was Kenyon Green's father telling me in studio after he committed. When we decommitted from LSU, we kind of had an idea of what was going to happen at Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. The day they hired Jimbo Fisher, we knew we were coming here. We had to go through the whole thing and listen to all the spiel from all the other coaches, and we had to listen to Jimbo talk. But the day Jimbo Fisher got on that plane to College Station, we knew we were coming to Texas A&M.
Well, I hope the people on the board that are, oh, my God, it's going to be another Brew McCoy. Look out.
I can never tell whose accent you're doing.
We're going to get Brew McCoy. Oh, my God, we lost Turner, so all our O-line signees are going to go into the transfer portal. No, guys, you're out of control with this thinking. Oh, no, I'm not. It's a very real possibility. Then, oh, my God.
Johnny,
Bronny 96. Do you really think that's true? Where are you getting your information? Well, from nowhere, but I just think I am. I just think I know because Brew McCoy did it. And I mean, remember that quote? Again, this thing moves along without individual assistant coaches. It moves along without and the culture that he sets, and that's why you can go out and hire guys. Like you can go higher. And that's why Scott Woodward and Texas A&M allowed Jimbo Fisher to have the money to go make these hires. The first O-line coach he tried to hire last year was Sam Pittman at Georgia. So Pittman is now the highest paid O-line coach in college football.
Probably in all of football.
There's only one reason why. And it's because Texas A&M tried to hire him. So, in other words, to keep a guy from a team that had just played for a national title, you basically are going to have to make him the highest paid position coach in his sport. And that's a commitment from Woodward, Michael Young, John Sharp, and Texas A&M. And then, and so that's where Texas A&M's at. Jimbo Fisher, with the respect he has all over the country in this game. I mean, they've got it set up, guys, where it's going to roll on, which I'm not saying don't really want to recruit and be disappointed if you don't get him. I'm just saying the days of melting down should be over with, over individual recruits and even coaches.
Yep.
And by the way, if you want another example, and I know this is not yet apples to apples, but it is when you talk about elite head coaches who have a system, and it's a system that's proven to work and win championships. Jimbo and Nick are two of the very small list in college football, of names that fall into that category. So that part is apples to apples. Now, Bama can recover because they have great players. What would we be doing right now if Alabama lost another coach today? Slickback Jeff Banks might be the only one left.
It's Johnny Slickback
On the staff. After 1 year there, he might be the veteran on the staff. And by the way, he signed a good kicker, so he's thanking his lucky stars today. He signed the top kicker in the country. And if there, one thing I know about, I'll give Banks credit on this. He always got his kickers right here. Even Bertolet, what he did. So it was surprising to me what went on there this year. So he's probably thanking his stars that he was able to close on a national guy. But look at all the guys Alabama's lost. Do you not think they're going to roll next year? I do think, though, that attrition year in, year out has taken a little toll where they've fallen back to the pack where they can lose a game like they did to Clemson. They could lose to Clemson in a title game. And maybe that's, the question is, how long will it take for A&M to position themselves to capitalize? The first step, Bronny, is passing LSU. And A&M's taken 2 huge steps in that direction by winning that game and then slightly. I mean, I'm not going to, unlike the Texas Twitter fan base, I would say mob, but a mob is like a tough group that you fear. These guys are like the Texas Twitter dweebs that you just wish you had in a room in person. But the Texas Twitter dweebs will celebrate a 3 and 4 in the arbitrary rankings. I'm not going to go too far with A&M finishing generally 3rd or 4th and LSU finishing 7th or so. Who knows which class will end up being better. But the point is you recruited a class as good or better than them after beating them. And you have a better head coach. Track record proves that. I think, again, the first step, you need to pass LSU, and then you need to go past and